Brayden Willis, the second tight end the Niners drafted, he sort of fell beneath the radar because you're looking at the first tight end they took, Cam Latu, and upon further review of Brayden Willis, who didn't test, I mean, we don't really know exactly what kind of athlete he is. When you've watched a little bit more of him, what are you seeing?
Okay, so I goofed, and I am always going to do this. I am subject to change my opinion with new information, right? So I got an actual chance to look at like full games of Brayden, and I said that not only did I didn't say he was an average blocker. I kind of made a joke about how bad of a blocker he was. I'm completely wrong. Brayden Willis he's a very good blocker. And he's really good near the line of scrimmage in the red zone. He comes, I don't necessarily think that he is as effective as an inline blocker coming off of the line of scrimmage as a traditional tight end. But in that H-back role, coming out of the backfield, coming out of their wishbone sets, he's very effective, and he's physical too. And he delivers a blow. I was wrong about that. And because of seeing that skill set and looking at what he brings, he's 6'2", about 230 to 40 pounds, and he's very fleet of foot. He's quick. I really could see him falling in the fullback H-back role for us. 6'2" is a little bit rich at tight end, but I wouldn't mind him at the H-back or fullback role. And I really do believe that we are, even though we draft for
hold on. Draft Scout has him at 6'3.5". So there's some dispute there on how tall exactly he is. But he's not as tall as Latu. I think he's at least an inch shorter than Latu.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen him in person yet.
I see a lot more worth than I initially saw from him. I think what jumped out to me at first is the ball skills, because that's what you saw. That's what you see when you first are looking for something special with the guy when you don't have time. And that's what I saw immediately. And I saw how he was used in a lot of the passing sets that he was put in, and he wasn't blocking. And I saw like a lot of like chip blocks, some like low effort things. But after you get a chance to actually put him in a position where he knows he's about to block somebody, where he is putting his hand in the dirt and coming in and fitting hand, hat, and coming in and making contact, he's a vicious blocker. And I think that I could see why we got him. He's not just a finesse guy. I stand corrected.
It was interesting to me, like the Juwan Jennings role in this offense. He's a slot receiver, but I think Tariq Woolen kind of made fun of him on Instagram, called him a tight end, because the Niners kind of do use him as like an F tight end. Like he does so much of that. He almost lines up so tight to the formation so often. He blocks a lot. I mean, it seems like maybe Brayden Willis could do what Juwan Jennings does from a route running perspective, his route tree, the blocks he's asked to make. And he's 30 pounds bigger than Juwan Jennings?
Yeah, I love what we do offensively because we create physicality at different levels of the field, where most corners or outside players are not going to get that interior brute force. They're not going to be asked to do the manual laborious tasks physically that interior linemen and linebackers do. And that's what a guy like Juwan Jennings does for us, right? He takes that element of the game and puts it out at the slot. He hunts corners and safeties, where I love our offense because we make all 11 football players play football. And you never know when you are going to get your head knocked off. I mean, look at CeeDee Lamb, what Juwan Jennings did to CeeDee Lamb when we played them last year in their place, when he got caught slipping. They had to go meet with the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So
Juwan will do that to you.
Yeah. And
vicious.
And when you have an offense that has a calling card of being the hammer and not the nail, you know, people, they don't like it. So call him a tight end all you want. Your ass better look out, though.
Exactly. I love that. And that's coming back to Isaiah Winston. Like, that is how
you make this team.
Juwan Jennings made not just the team, but like made himself a factor. Like, he will kick your butt. He will hurt you if you don't have your head on a swivel. You have to have your head on a swivel against the Niners, not primarily because of him, but a lot because of him. And Brayden Willis, if you want to have a spot in this team, you've got to be that kind of guy. Otherwise, they'll just be like your finesse.
Take it a step further, Grant. I mean, look at the type of attitudes that they try to bring into the building. Look at Cameron Latu, like a linebacker turned tight end. You know, like look at
the mentality. Yeah.
Yes, they
Yes.
want that type of mentality on offense because we are a running football team.
Correct.
So we can't ease up on the run. What are we going to ask nicely to run the ball? No, we got to dictate. You know what I'm saying?
And that goes for Willis too. Like, you can't be here as like the soft pass catching option. Like, that person doesn't exist on this team. So it's good to hear that he's no. Like, even Ross Dwelly, who's supposed to be that guy, like, works his butt off at blocking. Works really hard at it, even if he's not great at it. Willis has to as well. It can't be something he's like modestly interested in, because Kittle loves it, Latu loves it, and it seems like, you know, this guy does too, which is good, because I like the way he catches the ball in traffic. I like the way he gets yards after the catch, and I think it's interesting that if the Niners are looking at Brock as their long-term quarterback, or at least their franchise quarterback for the next few years, getting 2 tight ends fits him. Like, he likes throwing to tight ends. He doesn't really have the arm to take advantage of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith going down the field, but he does have the skill set to take advantage of a couple tight ends. And the Packers did the same thing. They drafted that 2 tight ends in the top 78 or something, and then they drafted like Brock Purdy 2.0 and that guy from Penn State, the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, and he's motivated. I mean, I listened to his reaction to, you know, he was disappointed that he got drafted so late, you know, and he actually, just on some background things about him, is that he actually made himself into an option for that offense in Oklahoma. He was not looked at as somebody who was going to be focused on, but by way of transferring and transitioning that school, he stepped up and he actually became a leader. So there's a lot to Brayden. And, you know, I was wrong. I didn't think that he was as physical as a player as he is, but he's game. He's game.
Hey, respect, Brayden, if you're watching. And one thing I want to say, John Lynch mentioned immediately after the draft when asked about Brayden, he's like, you know, we say this a lot, but we really had a 5th round grade on Brayden. We had no idea he was going to be there that late. We were so happy. 5th round grade on Brayden. That's interesting, because most people had a 5th round grade on Latu. So I think it's possible that there's really not that much separating them, that they're both good prospects, and that, you know, we'll see which one emerges. They both might. It's interesting.
Oh, this is not going away. You know what it is. I'm Team Latu. You're Team Willis. Let's get it started. You know, my man Latu.
I'm being too hard on Latu because of his speed. I'm just writing him off. I'm sure we could find examples of tight ends who are good and run a 4.78 or slower. So I'm open-minded. Cameron, I'm open-minded. And if you see me, don't punch me in the face. It's more about the team taking you where they did, not who you are. I think you're a terrific young man with a bright future. Don't punch me in the face. Did you ever hear, I didn't read it, but my dad said he read the Mike Tyson autobiography, and that he caught Brad Pitt with his girl at the time, who I forget what she was, and Brad Pitt was like, "Whatever you do, Tyson, Mike, just don't punch me in the face." And Mike was like,
"Was it Robin Gibbons?"
Yes. Yeah. She was, I guess, messing around with Brad Pitt. Mike Tyson caught him, and Brad Pitt was like, "Dude, punch me wherever you want to punch me, just not in the face." And Mike was like, "We're good, man. It's all good." Pretty funny.
I ain't touching Robin Gibbons, bro.